Thanks so much for joining, everybody. This is Danny coming to you live from Decisions. Thanks for making a little bit of time for us today as we talk about top back office time wasters and how to get rid of them. I'm Danny Torbett. I'm the Analyst Relations Manager for Decisions, and I'm joined by one of our amazing pre-sales engineers today, Veda. Veda, good morning. How are you? Good
Good
afternoon,
morning.
actually.
Good afternoon, Danny. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's great to see you again. Today, we're going to talk about back office stuff. Before we get into that, though, a couple of plugs. Submerse are our amazing live in-person 3-day training events. And the next one is coming up on September 10th through the 12th. It's going to be right here in Virginia Beach. It's a great time to come down to the ocean and hang out with us. Submerse is a great opportunity for you to take some training in the platform. We have a foundations track for people just getting started, as well as a master class for our folks that have had time developing solutions in the platform. Great way to learn more about us and spend time with some of our architects, engineers, our founders, all that. The next one that we have coming up is actually going to be in Singapore, which is incredibly cool. I did not get invited to this one, and I'm still a little bit bitter, but October 8th through the 10th, for anyone in APAC, check us out in Singapore. And then on October 14th through the 16th, we're doing our first virtual Submerse. We got a lot of requests from folks that weren't able to join us at our live events and wanted to have the same experience as close as we could get to it. So check that out for sure. A couple of upcoming webinars that we have. The next one is Thursday the 12th from 1 to 2 with our partner from Configurable Management. They are SAP pros, and we'll be covering filling SAP process gaps with them. So check us out at decisions.com/events for all of our upcoming events, but be sure that you register for that one. And we also have a lot of our on-demand webinars available in there as well at decisions.com/video, and especially want to check out our last one, our version 9 with Project Hub release. Project Hub was a really big advancement in the platform that we made in this latest version that gives you a much clearer view of all the different projects that are in your Decisions platform. So quick little plug for the analyst relations stuff. I'm the guy that talks to Forrester and Gartner and Everest Group. We were recently recognized as a major contender in their process mining peak matrix for 2024. It's our first time showing up in this survey, which is really cool. Process mining helps you uncover all the things that you don't know about your process, so you can streamline them, make them more efficient, and just overall be able to continue to develop and iterate solutions. So, as I mentioned, we love a spicy chat here. I see Nick from University System of Georgia. Hey, Nick, you're not too far away, but you're the farthest today, so great to say hi. As I said, the chat is open, so you don't have to wait for questions at the end. I've got a bunch of folks on here from Decisions. So if you're wondering about, a platform that you have, do we integrate with that, or you have some questions, or you'd like to learn more, just pop it into chat and someone will answer for you those for you live. But of course, at the end, we'll have a little Q&A as well. So let's cover the agenda, what we're going to cover. I'm going to bore you to death with the salesy stuff, right? What is Decisions? What does it do? I hope it's not boring. I'll try and keep it spicy, but we'll keep it short. And then we're going to talk about so many apps, so little time. As business needs increase, IT has to manage more than before. How eliminating top back office problems through automation benefit the business. We'll take a look at 3 examples of how we were able to do that for different clients, and as well as a look at the back end part of those solutions. And then we'll leave some Q&A time as well. All right, so here we go with the good stuff. So Decisions is a no-code software development platform. It comes with these 5 pillars. The first is an enterprise class rules engine, not just Boolean logic statement rules, but truth tables and matrix rules and rule sets and rule chains. If you can write a sentence in natural English or fill out a spreadsheet, you're fully qualified to write complex logic for enterprise class solutions. You don't need to know domain or decision modeling notation or any kind of code. It's validating as you go along, making suggestions. It's very intuitive. Second pillar is our API integration layer. Decisions built on an open API, and we have about 70 modules for the most common business applications out there. Things like CRM systems, ERP systems, databases, you name it. Connecting to those systems is easier than ever with decisions by really a simple step of about 5 clicks. Also, anything you create in the platform can be accessed externally over API. Any rule, any workflow, you name it. The third pillar is our workflow engine. So a very simple drag and drop interface where a user can build a workflow application end to end by selecting from our library of over 5,000 custom code steps. You simply drag those code steps onto a canvas and link them together. It's self-validating, and you can debug them right there in the same studio without writing a single line of code. The fourth element is process mining, which I alluded to earlier. Process mining gives you the ability to analyze log data. So any log data that has a user ID, an activity, a start time, and an end time, we can play back through our process mining analyzer to uncover the things that you don't know about that process, the inefficiencies, the bottlenecks, and most importantly, the least expected behavior that happens in those. So you can continually maintain, streamline, and iterate and develop on those. And then finally, we give you a UI UX designer to design things like dashboards, web pages, landing pages, you name it, reports, to put a front end on all the things that you build in decisions. So let's talk about the 3 areas where we really shine. The first one is that pure business rules or decisioning application. Our rules engine just gives you a place to centralize business logic and then expose that logic to business users, not software developers, business users, to be able to edit and maintain using graphical design tools. It gets the logic out of stored procedures, web pages, custom code, or your team's heads, and puts it in a place where you can easily maintain it without diving into code. It's enterprise class. It runs millions of transactions a day across thousands of rules and things like medical claims processing, insurance underwriting, mortgage processing. It goes on and on. Roche Genentech, in fact, we're formatting and enhancing clinical lab trial data across all of their global trials, for instance. The second area where we really shine is what we call extend and expand. You probably have a lot of major out-of-the-box projects that need to be part of your automation solution. So CRM systems or ERPs or databases or other products built to handle just a part of the process. Decisions is designed to integrate with these existing systems out of the box and handle the automation for the things that those systems don't do well. Things like human-in-the-loop approval processes, for instance. So to do that, we have several different ways. So we have several out-of-the-box integrations, like I think we have about 70 of them now. But most importantly, you can connect to anything over API. Most modern systems have an API that we can connect to, and you can pull data from. Taking the previous step example a bit further, we often access that orchestration layer between different applications. If you have several applications that have users and data in, you can use decisions as a middleware to bring in data from one application, trigger an activity for another user in another application, or populate another outcome in yet another system. The most common use case for decisions is to act as that orchestration layer between various software applications or services, and then engage end users in workflow that cross those application boundaries. If you want to learn more about the Decisions platform, the best way is to spend some time with one of our brilliant engineers like Veda. Reach out to us at sales@decisions.com if you'd like to see a demo of the platform and learn how automation can help you do business better, faster, at a better margin. Now it's time for the good stuff, everybody. We're going to talk about how to eliminate your top back office time wasters. When I used to be a sales guy for Decisions, these are challenges that all companies face, right? And when you think about back office automation, the IT teams are just deluged with requests from different departments looking to solve lots of different problems. The backlog starts filling up. It takes the IT team, takes their eyes off of the big strategic projects and plans that they're working on. Tell us a little bit about like why we want to reduce all of that nonsense and how automation helps us do that.
So Danny, to that point, first reducing the manual effort in these, which is on top of our list over here,
Hmm.
we are making sure that we have less errors. So automating the entire thing, the very common thing is typos, right? This is a very
Hmm.
basic, yet we are eliminating that entire thing, as well as having duplicate tasks or some other rules that needs to run automatically in the back end. So automating the entire thing makes it more time efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. Think about the the problem too with having a lot of manual processes inside your business is that you have no visibility, right? You don't know where a particular work product is along its path, to success. And by automating those things, we'd be able to create a digital audit trail to know exactly the status of every individual work product along the way.
Exactly.
Let's talk about some of the other like benefits. We mentioned a few right there, but what are some of these that you think are that you hear most from our clients?
Honestly, all of them,
Yeah,
everything that
right.
we
I
hear.
mean, these are the struggles. Like I mentioned previously, having that audit trail, right? That visibility, um, but also the reduction of technical debt. What's your favorite one? Which one do you hear most often?
The manual effort, reduce of
Yeah.
the manual effort.
Right. Especially if you think about things that are tedious manual processes. It's just not the best use of labor. A lot of folks are even using business processing outsourcing for those types of tasks, and those costs have continued to rise over the years. Offshoring those activities isn't the cost savings that it once was.
Okay. Yeah.
Talk about like some of the use case. All of these are verticals have great examples of use cases that are right for automation. When I think about human resources, that's one. Just from knowing how we operate at Decisions, you've got payroll, you've got onboarding and recruitment and performance management, training and development. Finance and accounting's got accounts payable and receivable and budgets and financial reporting and tax preparation and compliance. And I mean, there are so many use cases out there that are just screaming out for automation, especially if they're completely manual processes. We do all of these really well. So a couple of examples of use cases that in back office that you know that we hear a lot are examples here. Smile Brands, a provider of support services to dental groups in the United States. They offer comprehensive business support services using long-term agreements with affiliated dental groups. They use Decisions to automate the onboarding process for each new office that they bring on under their wing, saving tons of time and manual effort. Georgia Southern uses Decisions extensively. I think they have about 35 different use cases, including a change of major process that we recently did for them. I think I changed my major about 6 times when I was in college, and it probably involved a lot of standing in line in an old building. So really cool to see that one. And then Equitam's Midstream is a natural gas gatherer, and they are using Decisions when they automate queuing and approval processes for change requests. So lots of different industries have lots of use cases for automation. All right, now let's get to the really good stuff. I said this was the good stuff, but this is the really good stuff. We're going to look at 3 individual examples of back office automation. Can you kind of give us a little preview?
Sure. So we're gonna go through, as you can see on the slide, first the invoice processing and how we automated that using our platform, as well as the employee onboarding. And the last one would be a marketing tag automation as well that we use internally.
But we do drink our own champagne, that's for sure. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing now so you can share some of your brilliance with us, Veda, as you take us through these 3 examples.
Awesome. So let's
You
start
ready?
doing that.
I probably should have given you a
Are
little
you?
bit more notice and just pop it on your like
Very good. Can you see my screen?
I can. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful Decisions web dashboard.
Right. Awesome. So as I mentioned, we're going to start with our invoice processing that we build within our Decisions platform. And as you mentioned, Danny, a problem that many companies usually face is when they receive an invoice, either a paper format or even an electronic format like a PDF, is the manual process, as they need to key in all the related information, and that leads to errors and other different issues, right? So I have, for example, over here an invoice. So as simple as it is, it has a couple of different items, yet this needs to be sent to the accounts payable, right? So somebody has to key in the information. When they send it to the accounts payable department, somebody will be tasked exactly, right, to scan it, key it in. Different steps and a lot of work back and forth. And then once that's done, again, it needs to be routed to different departments, including procurement and the finance department, right, for final approval and payment. Okay? Yet, what I'm going to show you now is how, using the power of automation with AI, with the help of AI, we can complete this entire process in a very short time. So that starts over here on this master dashboard. So I'm going to give you a quick overview, right? We're looking at different KPIs over here that shows the different information of what we have. And then in another graphical, the representation. And this report over here shows all the different processed invoices, either completed, rejected, who rejected it, and so on. And the most important part of it as well is, as you mentioned, Danny, is keeping a trail of every single invoice. So over here on the right is what we call folder activity panel, that serves as an audit trail, right? It shows you all the information about each and every processed invoice from start to finish, and different information of who it was assigned to, who completed it, and how long actually they spent on it as well. Okay. So let's start.
All the things that you get asked about in an audit.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Right. So, and then again, auditing, you have all the information related to that invoice, even making sure that you're not missing or misplacing any invoice for that matter. So let's kick off this process, and let me show you how we go through this entire processing of this invoice. So we'll go here and let's choose one of the invoices that I have. And now when I submit, what's going on is we are scraping this PDF, and with the use of ChatGPT, you see how fast it is, we are validating, extracting all the information that are relevant to us from this specific invoice. And once that's completed, what's going to happen on this master dashboard is, as you get to see, some of these KPIs will update, like the total count and the under approval numbers will update. And we start by sending this invoice to our procurement team to start the work on it, the entire process, right? So now that's completed, I can see it. We can go into our procurement dashboard over here. Excuse me, just give me a second. And you can see this is the invoice that we just processed, right? And what we did is over here is on this report, again, you have different KPIs. You can see they're still uploading and updating based on the input that we just submitted. And we customized some actions just to make the work easier for the user to come in here. Some customizable actions, click on it, and then it takes them to this easy verification process of the PDF that we just uploaded. So this is the PDF. Let me zoom in on it. You get to see all the different information, and all the information that are present on this invoice were extracted for us over here, right? So I can make sure that I have all the items, the right quantity, price, total price, so on, invoice ID, due date, all the information that I need. And then now that I can verify it easily, I will go ahead and approve it. And once I do that, this will move on now to the finance team for final approval and then payment, right? So again, it updates in real time, and then the finance team will now receive this invoice. As you get to see, I have the invoice right here. Again, customizable actions you get to see on the right. And you can tell these are the same actions that we used previously, right? And this is the beauty of our no code. We can reuse any pre-built element if it fits somewhere else within this process, right? And this is what we did, exactly what we did over here. So let's go ahead, one final review, making sure that I have the total count is correct, my information are complete, and now we're gonna approve this invoice. Now when I do that, it's gonna move from, it's no longer gonna be in here because it's already sent to payment. Exactly. So we go back now to our main dashboard. So you get to see the main dashboard now, it's updating again in real time. And what's gonna happen, it's gonna show me that invoice that was completed with an audit trail on the right over here with all the information that went with that invoice, the time spent, who it was completed by, and all these different information. Okay, so you can see the process was pretty straightforward, but imagine having the back and forth if you manually do it, and with all the paper invoices, emails, I don't know, phone calls, right? All the
Excel
documentation.
spreadsheets flying around, right?
Exactly.
Different
Right?
versions. It's
So many.
pandemonium.
Exactly. Easy. You can easily confuse the entire process. Yet
Yes.
we automated this entire thing with using decisions. And to I'm gonna show you quickly as well, Danny, how we look at it in the back end.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a flow that we're using. And if you remember, we started over here uploading the invoice. And then once we did that, we got the PDF. And over here is where ChatGPT, with a tailored prompt for ChatGPT, it went ahead, extracted all the information that we needed, and gave us exactly what we wanted, right? So this is what we told them. Give us the vendor ID, the vendor name, and so on from the PDF that I'm giving you. And it did exactly that in no time, right? So with simple steps, we're able to automate this entire process that probably can take hours in processing paper invoices.
Easily. You know, we released our ChatGPT module in Q2 of 23, and we've had a lot of really interesting use cases and customers coming to it. We're currently also investigating Gemini and Claude 3 as well. So look for further modules to other large language models in the platform soon. This is really cool. How many lines of code did it take to write this?
None. It's all drag and drop.
I love that. Let's take a look at another one.
Let's do that. So another back office task, as we mentioned, Danny, is for any big or small company, right, is onboarding of a new employee. So the process by itself should be happy and all, but it can become too stressful because we have so many different teams that need to come together in an organization to onboard a new hire. Right? So, and imagine we have one large organization like an airline. So the airline is not that they just have so many different departments; they have them in many different locations as well. So imagine how managing the onboarding of hundreds of new hires can easily become overwhelming, time-consuming, not to mention that any manual process might end up with duplicate tasks and more work, right? So again, using our decisions platform, we automated this entire process. And what we're looking at over here on this onboarding team dashboard, let me just give you a quick view of it, is on the left we have over here a request of every unique ID for every single new hire we have. And we can easily come in here, check by clicking just on these different requests to see who is the new employee, who is their hiring manager, and then all the tasks that needs to go with this new hire onboarding to make sure that we created all the different tasks that are on this list over here, right? So if we do that, let's go ahead actually and do onboarding of a new employee. That's going to be Danny today. Welcome to our company, Danny.
Thank you. We'll stick around.
Right? And here we go. I'm sharing your phone number with everybody we have.
Call me anytime.
And let's go. Unfortunately, Danny, we have someone else called Danny as well. So I'm going to give you the number 2 of that.
No respect.
Right?
No
All right. So now when I click on the hiring manager, you get to see how company, department, and location were pre-populated.
That could be from a list. It could be a
Correct.
call to a database. It could be a call to your Active Directory, right? So that
Exactly.
doesn't have to be static. That can be dynamic live information. I always like pointing that out. Thank you.
Absolutely. So now when I submit, and you when I submit, oh, see, I missed your number.
Ah,
This is a self-validation example of you can't submit if anything is missing. There you go. Okay. This is live over here. So let's now submit. There you have it. So what's happening now that I got the confirmation, we got the request of the new hire. And you can see again all the listed information over here of the employee with their manager. And we have a new task list that was created just for this new request, displaying all the different accounts that will be eventually created for this user for you, Danny. So it's going to be this Microsoft account, Salesforce account, as you can see, a DocuSign, as well as assigning our IT and finance team tasks to work on to proceed with this entire process, right? So if I take you now to the IT dashboard, for instance, you get to see that the IT team just received over here, just give it a quick refresh, just received this task over here. And again, you can see how easily from their dashboard, they can tell which task is completed and which one they still need to work on. Just visual, colorful way, right? And within our reports, again, we customize an action to make it easier to work any task. So now I come in here, I look at this, all the information, and now as an IT, I can come and submit the requested items that Danny will need to start working with us. And now I submit. So now you get to see it's completed. If I go back to our main dashboard where we started and just give it again, just a quick refresh, you can see now that the IT team already completed their task. We already created an Azure account for Danny, and then we still need to work on the rest. For instance, the finance team did not complete their task. You can see in real time, all in one place, what's going on to this entire process. So now if I go into our finance team, again, see, you can easily tell that, okay, you still need to work on this task over here. So let's onboard Danny and welcome him to our company. So we go that, different tasks for each different department, of course. And then we go ahead, is this task complete? Yes, and then we submit. Now, once that's done, if I take you back again to check on the progress of our entire task list, you can see that now everything is completed. We created a Salesforce account. We created a DocuSign account. The finance team and the IT team completed their task. And with that, we sent an email, a welcome email to you, Danny, welcome on board, and then a Slack message. The Slack message can be easily Teams if that works for you as well. So all in one place, easy to see. So if I want to show you now, for instance, Salesforce over here, I just created an account for Danny. Let me just give it a quick refresh. You can see that Danny is right here. Actually, all the information in Salesforce are present for me over here. The same goes with the Azure account that we created. It's going to show over here as well with all the information that we just entered. So this entire process, as you can tell as well, didn't take much time. And we were able to check everything in one place.
very cool.
Yep. One last check. Would you like to have a look at the back end of it?
Yeah,
Do you have it?
definitely.
Awesome.
Always.
Let's do that then.
Yes.
So again, this is a quick, I'll give you just a quick walk through this entire flow. So again, we started with this onboarding over here form. And then once we submitted, we started creating the employee information. We started creating the Microsoft account. This is where on this black box over here that we call Subflow, we assign the tasks for our different teams. And then with that, a Salesforce account and DocuSign account, after they both completed their tasks, were created for the new hire. And then once all of that is done, we come in here, we have a final validation check with this rule over here. If we go ahead and look at it, okay, so this is a statement rule. As you mentioned, Danny, we have many different rules within decisions. But to have a look at this statement rule, you can tell over here, we are making sure that every single step within this process needs to be completed to make sure that this employee is indeed ready to start working. right? And as you get to see on the results over here, usually the most common output for a statement rule is a true or false. But
Mhm.
again, within our platform, we can customize these as we did over here as well. So again, we made this entire process more efficient and consistent every single time, as you can tell.
So many steps, right? Just
Yep,
eliminated by automation.
exactly. But you only have to do it once.
Fantastic. What's the next one?
The next one will be moving on to what we are using and how we are using our platform internally with many different processes that we have, right? And one of these main ones is our lead assignment. So a lead assignment comes in is making sure that every lead inbound leads that comes in needs to get to the correct person to make contact at the right time, right? Because manually managing means, again, someone on the team needs to receive the leads, qualify them, and then assign them to different team members. That's inefficient, time consuming.
No sales manager in the world wants to do that, right? Because
Exactly.
then you get into, oh, you like him better. No, you like me better, right? So much better.
Absolutely.
Round robin automation.
Absolutely. This is what we're doing over here. So what we did for this one then is basically we have another tool and we put, as you said, we are using decisions as an orchestration tool next to another tool to make this automation more like run smoothly. Right?
Mhm.
So our BDR over here, what we call our BDR schedule dashboard, is what you're looking at is we have what we call a master schedule. And what we're saying is any lead that comes in on a Monday between this time and this time, it's going to go to Kyle. On Tuesday, we'll go to Daniel, and so on and so forth. Right? But I can easily come onto this dashboard, click over here, and make a default to send everything just to go to Jessica, for instance. So it overwrites whatever over what I have over here. But a better way, which we're going with, is a round robin, as you mentioned. This is how we are making sure that the workload is divided between among all the different team members. So not one team member is overwhelmed with everything with all the leads that come in, right? Another part of this dashboard and this automation is I can create another master schedule or I can update what I have. Just with a click of a button, I come here, I check the days, I check the start and end time, as well as the BDR team member that I need. And as easy as it is, I can create a new one as well. And one last part is assuming that Jackson is on vacation in the coming 10 days. But I
Mhm.
don't want to come here and make a change, create a new master schedule. We can easily come in here, create an impersonator schedule that with the start and end date of Jackson's leave, someone else who will be present will take in all these leads. So this way, I don't make a huge change to my schedule. It's just it starts with Jackson's leave and ends with Jackson's leave as well. So again, you see how automating our lead distribution, we can now prevent missing any high quality leads. And we are providing our potential customer with a faster response to their inquiries. Uh, One last part, Danny, before we close for the day, is as you can see over here on the left, we have many different projects, internal projects, many different
Mhm.
AI projects that we're using, automating as well. And one other one that I want to show you is how we're using, for instance, Salesforce. As you get to see, we have integration with different tools over here like Gong, Google Ads, and Salesforce. And one of these is over here is a flow that what we're doing this workflow on it actually is it processes the account files.
Mhm.
It starts by updating the file names and then it converts the data into a CSV and then we are managing the file uploads into Snowflake. But and let me test this one and show you how we can easily test it if you'd like to. But what we're
Yeah.
doing in real time, actually, we are uh, we have a schedule. We scheduled this entire flow to run at a specific time. So
Mhm.
it goes first by extracting all the accounts from Salesforce, as I mentioned, and then it transforms the data within these all different steps that we have over here. And when it does that, it ends up by loading the data into our data warehouse. This is how we can automate. As you get to see, it moves faster from one step to the other. And actually running this entire process, just give it a 2 more seconds, maybe. We'll see, right? Um, we are basically loading hundreds of accounts within just tasks. So again, automating, there you go. I didn't even finish my sentence. So it took about a good 13 seconds, right? So automating, implementing ETL automation in our process as well made our, reduced our manual workload and
Mm-hmm.
our error rate. And it improved as well our data quality and our ability to a faster data analysis.
That's the key.
Yep.
That is the key right there. Man, that's really good. One thing I like to point out is the solutions that you saw today were surfaced in dashboards. They can be customized any way you want, right? The data elements that are relevant to your business, to your teams, right? With your company branding, with your look and feel. In fact, some of our customers even make the investment in having a more robust front end. In a lot of situations, we will just sit in the back end and what we call a headless implementation, right? If you spend a lot of money on a React or an Angular front end for your amazing application, we can just sit behind the scenes and do all the heavy lifting. So really, really great presentation, Vita.
Thank you.
I think we opened some people's eyes to how automation can help them take care of some of those back office tasks. Everybody, thank you so much for making a little bit of time for us again. If you found some of this interesting and you'd like to learn more about the platform, reach out to sales@decisions.com to spend some time with one of our amazing engineers like Veda. Go to decisions.com /events to sign up for our next webinar focused on SAP process gaps with our partner from Configurable Management. And don't forget, Submerse, 10th through the 12th, right here in Virginia Beach. I know it's right around the corner, but it's not too late to register and come join us for an amazing event. Thanks so much for your time, everyone.